Welcome everyone to another episode of Fantasy Knuckleballers. Rich, Justin, and I will be reviewing the Rotogeeks Fantasy Draft. It's an NL league. It's a keeper league, and we'll do a round by round analysis of our favorite and least favorite picks. And at the end, we'll do some projections as far as which teams we like to and how they'll finish each year. We're not going to go down and break down each team where we predict them to finish, but we will pick out 3 or 4 teams that will finish in the top half. Actually, we go up to 5 teams that we think will finish in the top half of the league, and some of the teams will probably surprise you. Hope you guys enjoy, and
we got to give Jason a hard time, so let's start there.
I didn't realize he's been in the league as long as me. We started the same year.
Has he? Really?
Well, yeah. Our first full year was both of our first full years was 2017.
Jason's first year was 2017. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Same as me, because I actually started in 2016, but it was the league was over halfway over, and I took over for somebody.
All right, Rich. Here's a $10 bet for you. Since Jason and Justin's been in the league the same amount of time, who do you think's going to win the league first, Jason or Justin? I'll put $20 on Jason.
I'll take Justin. I think Justin's got a shot this year.
Come on, man.
You need a hitter.
I get $20 on Jason.
All right, I got 20 on Justin. Let's go for it.
He's my dude.
Smart money, Rich. Smart money.
Smart money all the way.
I don't know. All right, we're going to start off by reviewing the draft in our inner-only league. Then we're going to go kind of team by team and kind of do a ranking of the teams. This should be fun. Like, I don't think you were able to do this last year, Justin.
No, you guys finally let a rotisserie wannabe join the call.
Well, Justin, I think you'd agree with me. The worst pick in the first round has to be Fernando Tatis. Pick one.
It probably is.
What do you think, Justin?
I'm still trying to pull it up here. Let me look real quick.
Can you see the screen I'm sharing?
Oh, no. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's got to be Real Muto. It's got to be the worst pick.
Come on.
Rich was going to trade back up to get Real Muto.
I only say that because Mike kept the catcher. And then
yeah, good point there.
And then he took Real. I mean, the reason Real Muto has value right there is because there's so much value at the catcher position, right? Because you can't get those kind of numbers. You're very limited. But I mean, there were way better options on the board for him at that point.
I don't know. I disagree with you because Real Muto was a 2020 guy last year. I mean, he then turned around and flipped it, traded Contreras to get Freddie Freeman.
Like I said, that was going to be what I brought up. He did manage to flip it for Freddie Freeman, so that ain't bad.
I think he might have came out ahead. I think I might have lost that trade.
Because you traded down? Is that what happened?
No, I ended up
trading Freddie Freeman for Contreras.
I traded Freddie Freeman for Contreras and Max Fried.
Oh, I didn't realize he traded Contreras in that deal.
Yeah, Contreras was part of it. So Max Fried was the other part because I needed another starting pitcher.
Yeah. After you calculate all that, then it's a little bit different story. But I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that pick at all.
Man, I'm totally. I kind of feel bad because I almost feel like I should have pushed back and tried to get Real Muto. And I wonder if he'd done Real Muto and Max Fried. I would have come out better.
I think that trade for you would have been much better if you would have gotten Real Muto.
I
I'll tell you
agree.
what I was going to do with I had reached out to Mike initially about my Freed because he mentioned something about not being able to compete this year or something like that, and I saw that he was a year 4. I'm like, well, maybe I just sent him a message saying, hey, when and if you get ready to trade Freed, let me know. I'm interested, and
It's all Aaron's fault.
it is, and like I said, that kind of started the ball rolling. I think he probably had more conversations than just me and you, Rich.
Yeah,
I
I was going to put together an offer for Freed after the draft. I didn't expect him to deal him during the draft.
Well, I offered him Singa straight up for Freed, and he turned that down.
That would have been.
He got a good deal. I mean, he got a year 1 Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, I probably lost that trade.
He wanted too many. He wanted a lot. He didn't want anybody of major value from me, but there was a lot of picks there, and I felt that if I did that, I probably would have been giving up on the season already, and I definitely
Yeah, I
didn't want to
mean,
do that.
for Rich, yeah, I mean, long term, you might have lost a trade, but for this year, I mean, you put yourself in a great position to win the league again this year with that trade.
I hope so. I hope Contreras and Freed pay off. I mean, I love Freed, so he gave me my second number 1. So I feel like I needed that, and I
But
felt like I had a good enough.
but honestly, I mean, how many people in this league would have done that? Would have traded a year 1 guy they just drafted for a year 4 guy?
You know what? Like before Rich did that,
you two are the only two that would do it. I'm telling you.
I was seriously considering offering him Tatis for Real Muto and Max Fried.
Really?
I was thinking I probably would need another draft pick back, which I think you did get, didn't you, Rich?
No, I didn't get a draft pick back. That was straight up.
But that's why you all are always competing, because you're willing to make those trades, and a lot of people aren't.
But
I seriously thought about it, and I think
a lot of
Rich
people
just beat
don't
me to
like
it.
to do those trades. You're right. There's folks that don't like to do them. You got to take a chance somewhere, and you know, during the year if you want to win.
I'm telling you, like the best pick that I like in round 1 was Bryce Harper, straight up. Like for Jason and his team, he's finished near the bottom, and in my opinion, Jason needs like the best talent available. Bryce Harper is going to be out half a year. Who cares? You know, he's gotten really good value there, in my opinion. Like take Harper second half, and he might put up better numbers the second half than Chris Bryant. Who knows?
If you
I
come
mean,
early,
it's round 1. There's usually not many bad picks in round 1. So.
Yeah.
no.
But like I really like Harper for Jason. I thought that was a perfect spot for him.
You surprised me, Justin, taking Alonso. So I think it was the best pick you could have made.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between. Honestly, everybody here knows Tatis is my guy. I was hoping Aaron would take somebody else, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. But it came down between Freeman and Scherzer, honestly. But Scherzer's age just pushed me away from him at the last minute.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked with Scherzer and going as high as he did, but I can't argue with it. Hell, like Scherzer might have 2 or 3 more good years in him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he was the first pitcher off the board. I mean, he would have been my first pitcher off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with any of the pitchers. They're all really good.
Right.
And
All right,
let's move on.
Let's go to round 2. Who do you guys like?
Round 2. Let's see. Well, the Reese Hoskins was a horrible pick.
It is now
because everybody knew he was going to get hurt.
Everybody knew it. It was the writing was on the wall.
I mean,
exactly.
it sucks because I'm a big Reese fan. It was really crappy to hear that, but
yeah, that is bad. I do like Bogarts. Trading up to get Bogarts was, but
yeah,
great.
I can't believe he fell that far.
I'm surprised. I really thought he would go in round 1, but I was happy when I was able to get him, so it worked out.
Yeah, I think if I were Jason, I probably would have stayed there and taken Bogarts, but I get why you moved down. But yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, I don't. The only things I quit. But again, what the hell do I know? You guys are the pros, not me. The only thing I question in round 2 are the 2 relievers.
yeah,
Just because of this year with being saves and holds, I thought there was way more value later on to be able to use those top picks on something else.
I agree. It was 3
there's
closers.
3 closers.
But I
Is there
totally
3?
agree.
Who did I miss? Oh yeah, I missed Iglesias. Yep, you're right. I didn't see
I
that
mean,
one.
I do think closers are better to get because they're going to get more saves than people are going to get holds. But I agree with you.
Right.
I
So
really
Justin,
surprised.
You're right. You're dead on. I looked at the numbers from last year, and if you look at the top 3 closers versus the top 3 holds guys, the closers averaged 8 more saves than the top holds guys that holds.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to. I kept hitting that Aaron on that all off season. He wasn't picking it up. He's like, "Oh, some piece of information that I don't know." I'm like, "Man, so now I guess I can tell you if you had the top 2 closers and I had the top 2 holds guys, you would essentially be 16 ahead of me."
Yeah, I was going to say almost 20.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, I don't know. They got good players. Jason actually texted me about Rocio Iglesias, and I said, "You remember we changed the rules?" He's like, "Yeah, I forgot about that." I think he's going to be the closer all year. That's before he got hurt.
right.
well, the
And
good thing is that
I wait for him.
well, the good thing is they're on like good teams, so that we're going to get a lot of wins.
The,
So they should get a lot of saves.
the player that I thought was a reach was and Michael's a really good player, but I thought Brandon Nemo was a little bit of a reach. I thought he would have fallen a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not a big Max Muncy fan either, but I've never been a Max Muncy fan, and it's not really been my. He's a good player, but he's going to take a major batting average.
He's going to kill you in average, but where he has sneaky value because he has so much eligibility. He's eligible at like first, second, third. At least he used to be. I'm assuming he still is.
I think he is first, second, third, and then Nemo's a really good player. I just think there were other guys that could have picked up there and picked Nemo up later. And I might be wrong, but I still like Nick Castellanos. Still like a little bit of that um, over Nemo because of the power potential.
Yeah, I think Castellanos is one of those guys who benefited greatly from GABP, and now that he's gone, we see that he's not hitting near the homers that everybody thought he was going to.
Are you done at round 3 now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was surprised that Charlie Morton dropped. I really thought he would go earlier, and well, I take that back. That's about where I thought he would go. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, like round. In my opinion, Bogarts is probably the best second round pick. Um, I don't have a least favorite in round 2. Well, I don't. I'm not a big Muncie fan, but I don't think it's a bad pick either. So, round 3, I struggled. I really thought I was going to take Castellanos at 21, and I chickened out after looking at his last year's numbers. Um, and so I took the upside with Horner. I think Horner would probably have lasted till probably round 4 if I didn't take him there, but I don't know. I'm kind of kicking my. I had end up having too many middle infielders, so I was kind of kicking myself for taking Horner.
I think he's poor man Tommy Edman. I think he could be Tommy Edman this
year. Yeah.
He could get 10 home runs, score a ton of runs, steal 20 or 30 bags.
I think that's a good comp.
So
and he's always going to have a super high average.
Yeah.
I think you're
compared to the rest of the league.
I think Edman is going to start, or he's going to bat ninth, and I think Horner is going to bat first. I don't know whether you've read up on that.
First?
I think the projections right now has him batting ninth.
Okay.
Has who batting ninth?
Edman.
Tommy Edman for the Cardinals.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't know whether that's true, but
we'll see. We'll see. I've watched a good bit of spring training, and it seems like he's always batting toward the top of the lineup. So we'll see. I like Freddie Peralta only because I watched him today pitch. He looked great. I kind of wish I'd taken him.
Isn't Mitch Haniger? Hasn't he been hurt?
He is hurt, unfortunately.
He was the Seattle version of Nick Senzel, except that Haniger actually had a good year or two.
Yeah, Haniger has the potential of getting you 30 home runs, but I don't know that I would. Me personally, I don't think I would have taken him there. A guy that's hurt and seems to be hurt a lot.
I played in some other leagues, and I took him, and I regret it now. So I'm with you, Justin, on that.
This crazy ass guy took another closer in the third round.
Yeah, horrible pick there.
Who took a close? Oh, Justin did. Another closer off the board.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Estrada fan either, but I know why you did it. You did it for the stolen bases, didn't you?
The stolen bases and the eligibility and the average. He's going to get probably 15 home runs. I mean, it wasn't a great pick, but
yeah, I'm not saying it's a horrible pick. I'm just
second base, shortstop, and outfield, right? So it's a lot of versatility.
Those guys are useful.
I like
yes,
him.
They are.
He got enough power to kind of make up for his power a little bit. Same with Horner.
I think my favorite pick of round 3 was Kim's Nick Castellanos. One, because I was about ready to take him, and two, he didn't have very many early picks. So getting, a solid guy like that, I think was huge for him. Ian Happ with Kevin was kind of like a big billboard. I knew exactly that he was coming up, and I knew that was Kevin's guy.
I like Happ.
That's probably my favorite pick in this round, Ian Happ. I'm surprised he fell that far.
Yeah, I really thought Happ was going to be kept earlier in the year, so I thought he's going to be a keeper. So you're right, Justin. I'm with you. I'm going to go Freddie Peralta just because I saw him pitch today, and he was 96, 97 lights out. So
if he's nice. Healthy, he's a anchor to your rotation. So
I considered him hard at the end of the second round there when I was taking Jordan Montgomery. I was trying to decide between him and Peralta, and I went with the safer route. I just didn't want to take.
I totally get that. I probably would have done the safer route too, just because Freddie Peralta, he might break down and you only get 70 or 80 innings. So
right.
So I'm with you on that.
All right,
but if he stays healthy though and he pitches a lot, man, he's gonna be good.
If he pitches 130 innings, he's great. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to round 4. What's your favorite and least favorite picks?
Well, my least favorite is probably Bellinger.
Yeah, I would agree. My least favorite is Bellinger.
He hasn't done anything, and he's going from a LA who is kind of considered a hitter-friendly park to a place that's not considered a hitter-friendly park. So I don't think his numbers are going to get better by any means. And then everything that I've heard so far in the preseason is that, he's still not on track. So I don't think I would have taken him that early, but.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Maybe later, but I'm with you.
I know Go ahead.
No, his batting average, nothing in spring training says anything's changed. I'm with Justin on that.
I'll just to be different. I will say Rowdy Tellez. He's good power, but I don't know if he brings. I think he's going to get a little bit more competition this year, and he's not a bad player. I just think it's just a tad bit high. I know why Mike took Bellinger there. It's because he didn't have any more picks until several innings or several rounds, and he figured he'd try to swing for the fences. Not to say
Yeah,
that makes
it
it a
was
better pick, but
it was a good gamble pick for sure.
my two favorite picks was Rich's back to man nailed these two, Singa and Jameson Tyon. Like I love those two picks.
I know. I
I
thought
like
Singa was going to fall to me. I was going to take him that round.
No way. I would have taken Singa back in round 3 had I had a pick. So Singa was my guy. But
Really?
I really like both your picks. I like Edwin Cabrera and I like Alex Cobb. I think both were solid picks. I do like my Singa pick, but after watching Edwin Cabrera the other day, I might go Cabrera one as the best pick in the round.
It had a lot of risk there, so I just went for upside there, but yeah, but I do like Tyon and Singa. Like I think Singa's a little bit of a wild card, but I think right there for the value, it's really good.
And I think right there is really where the starting pitchers start falling off.
Oh yeah, I think there was one round that there was just like two non-pitchers. That might have been that round. No, yeah, it
Yeah,
was that round.
it's right about that round
That
that the
was three.
pitching drops off pretty big. After round 4, it starts dropping off. Because then we're looking at Eric Lauer in round 5.
Yeah.
So that's a drop off right there.
So in round 5, there was a lot more hitting, and Justin took is it Mensis? I think
Joey
that's everybody.
Meneses?
Tell
I think
us,
it.
tell us why you like Joey Mintz.
Because well, A, I needed a first baseman. B, probably gonna hit pretty high up in the lineup. He's got the potential for 20-25 home runs. A little bit safe, a little bit. I don't want to say safer, but not as dangerous of a hit on the average as some of the other guys that were left. You can tell me why I was a horrible pick.
um, I think. Did you hear that, Rich?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. No, I know you were talking about Joey Mintz, right?
Yeah.
Mintz. Um, I mean, I don't really have any questions. Um, the biggest concern I would have was he plays on a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
So how many runs is he going to score? How many RBIs is he going to get playing for Washington? They're going to be bottom 3 in runs scored any way you look at it. So
Yeah.
I do like McMahon. I thought that was a good pick. I think Neiman pick of Bard that was an auto pick, so I'll cut him some slack for that one. I think Bard, in my opinion, Bard is a double digit round pick. Um, I would have probably taken a lot of closers before Bard. I'm sorry, a lot of middle relievers before Bard. With the way Jonathan India is looking, like I think that might be a really solid pick.
Yeah, I think I told you this, Aaron. I tried to make a trade with the homers. I had a feeling he was taking India, and I wanted India. I tried to trade up to that spot because I knew if it fell to you, you were going to take him. But he wouldn't trade.
I don't know. At this spot, I was looking at outfielders. At that point, I had a lot of I had a lot of middle infielders on my team already, and there was a lot of middle infielders I really liked, and the outfield was really getting thin, so I took McNeil because I just needed an outfielder.
So why didn't you take India over Joey M?
Because I needed a first baseman, and there were part of that pick was like looking who's left,
Gotcha.
and there was a lot more wiggle room at second base than there was at first.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
um, yeah, there. I don't know. I don't know about the Birdie pick. I know he's going to give stolen bases, but as of right now, I don't even think he's projected to be a starter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the birdie pick was a reach, but like I said, maybe he'll end up starting like he did last year. I think underrated is Jason's pick, JD Martinez. I think he rebounds. If he hits 25 home runs for the Dodgers and drives in 100, that's a great pick in round 5.
Yeah, they've already said he's going to be their everyday DH, so that could be a sneaky good pick. You're right.
Who was that again?
JD Martinez.
Yeah, that's kind of the most interesting pick. That could work out really well, or maybe not work out much. I
There's
kind of
not a lot of downside to that pick. I mean,
yeah. You
he,
have a baseline there.
he's going to hit 20 home runs. He's going to have a decent average. He's on a team with a bunch of people who are going to be on base.
He's
You know,
not
the
going to
only
be
risk, the only risk is that he's old, right? He's old and he
he's
might get
old.
hurt.
He's not a keeper. That's the
Right.
biggest risk. And he's a DH, so you got to play him at utility. My only question for you, Aaron, is really Jeff McNeil. I like the pick. He's a 300 hitter. He's going to score some runs. But didn't you kind of get that already when you got Nico Horner? It's kind of like you doubled up on the same thing.
Well, I don't think McNeil's gonna steal as many bags. I took Horner was there because I don't think I needed stolen bases, and actually that's why I traded Edmund in the beginning, in the off season because with Tatis I was going to have a lot of stolen bases, and so I lessened that, got a little bit better pitcher, and I figured Horner would have the most value because of his stolen bases, and he's going to have a good average. But McNeil, I really don't take all batting average players that often, and for whatever reason in this draft I took several.
Yeah, McNeil don't really offer much else.
Yeah,
He'll be
Well,
like I
lucky to
said,
get he'll be lucky to get double digit homers, right?
yeah,
Well, like I said, at there I was looking at Trent Grisham or Winker, or I thought it was way too early for Fraley, but I didn't realize that Max was going to draft the
I,
entire Reds team.
all
I
that
tell you
being
what, if Grisham keeps playing like he's played in spring training, whew, he's
I'm not
killing it.
counting on that.
he's
He's
back.
killing it. He's having a turnaround. He's having a more like he did 2 years ago than last year. Hopefully he keeps it
Okay,
up.
okay. Well, I think with McNeil, I mean, he was a borderline keeper if you take just last year's into effect. So he's had good years before. So who is the most exciting player in round 6?
I think the best gamble is Will Myers because he's going to JBP. He could. I know the projections have him like around 18 homers, but he could easily hit high 20s. And
Yeah,
he's
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 done.
faster than people give him credit for. I mean, a few years ago he was stealing 20 bases, so I think that's a sneaky good pick. And I'm a big Alec Boehm fan, so that's my favorite
Yeah.
pick of the round.
But let's take a quick moment here and just realize how much bad luck Kevin's had in the draft so far. He took Von Grisham here, the second
Oh yeah,
baseman for Atlanta. He got sent down. Granted, he probably will be back. I wouldn't be surprised if he got brought back up before May 1st. But he has him and then lost Hoskins. That's not a very good start to a draft, and that's
It is bad.
that's killer.
yeah.
Um, So Kevin, if you're listening, dude, I feel for you, man.
Two guys in the first 6 rounds. Whew, that's rough.
But Fraley, I like Fraley, but I thought it was a little early. But I don't know. But if you're ranking him next to Winker and Grisham, and I know Grisham's having a good spring, but I don't think that's a reach for Fraley. I thought Stroman was a strong pick.
Yeah, Stroman doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but he's kept that ERA under 4 this whole time. He's going to get a decent amount of strikeouts, and I think the Cubs are going to be better than what people think. So I think the win potential is there.
I think they're a 500 team, and I agree with you. But the pick I like is going back to Alec Baum, just what you said. I think he's going to break out. I think he'll be a keeper next year.
I do too. I think he's going to hit 20 home. I think he's going to easily be 2020. He's going to have a high average. I'm calling it. He's going to be 2020 this year. I'm calling it.
You think he's got any speed?
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he'll hit 20 home runs and hit 280 or 285.
They're gonna unleash him. They're gonna unleash him on the base paths.
All right. Unleash the beast. And I'm with you. I thought Jake Fraley was a little bit of reach, but if you want to compare him to Winker or Grisham, I don't know. I might like Jake Fraley. I think I would like Will Myers over all of them.
Yeah.
But I would probably take Jake Fraley. You can make the argument he's over Jesse Winker, and you can make the argument he's over Trent Grisham too.
So at this point, I thought Kim was having a fantastic draft. He wasn't drafting flashy players. He was drafting just kind of solid, like everyday players. And like I said, he had a tough start because he traded a lot of picks, and his keepers were, I don't remember what his keepers were, but he kind of, his overall draft, I think, is not going to be very good because he's missing so many early drafts. But I think the picks that he had, he definitely made the most of them. But yeah, I think you're right. Will Myers has a really high upside there.
All right, I take back what I said about Boom. He's not getting 20 stolen bases.
But he's getting 20 home runs.
Oh, he's definitely getting 20 home runs.
We'll see.
With Hoskins out, he's going to bat higher in the lineup, so he could bat 4th or 5th in that Phillies lineup. He could drive in a bunch.
All right, let's go to round 7. Who do you like?
I hate them all. Go ahead.
I hate to give you credit, Aaron, but I love the Conforto pick right here.
Really? Nice.
Yes. I mean, he might get you 30 plus home runs.
I don't know. I was kind of worried with shoulder surgery for hitters. And like I said, here I was still kind of looking at outfielders, and I thought I was desperately in need of outfielders, and so
he's already hit 5 in preseason.
Nice.
I have to say Justin's right. I think that was a good pick. I think we were all scared, and you took him late, so I think that was a really good pick.
I'm glad I didn't keep Flaherty. I will say that I thought about keeping him, and he has looked like horrible in the preseason. Horrible.
You're right.
You know,
he got almost a 7 ERA. He's gotten rocked every outing.
One player I thought was going to last. I was targeting him. I was trying to figure out at what point I can draft him, and I was going to take him in one of my 3 picks here. And I think I can wait one more round, and it didn't happen. Evan Phillips for the Dodgers. You know, he probably will start off the year as a closer, and even if somebody takes over, he probably will have a lot of high leverage situations. But he has the potential to be kind of the next Kenley Jansen. The opportunity's there. It's just a matter of whether or not he does it. So I'm really regretting not taking Phillips at that point. So that's probably my favorite pick here.
I can see that. I stick with the Conforto pick. But yeah, Evan Phillips was a good pick there.
The Dodgers have too many people that can close. That's why I was kind of shying away from anybody in that bullpen.
Well, like I said,
you throw in holes though, and he comes back into play a little bit more.
And then you got what's his face coming back soon, Daniel Hudson. He'll be in the mix.
Soler is, like I said, Soler is one of Kevin's guys, so not surprised he took him there. Who's your? I think all these are solid picks. Segura is if I had to pick one that I don't like, it's Segura. Is there anybody that you guys don't
I've
like?
never been a big Segura fan, but it's not a bad pick. I mean, it's easy to say right now because after the fact, and we've had some preseason games. But I mean, as of right now, I'd say Flaherty's the worst pick because he looks like crap. But
I would probably go Flaherty too. I mean, Segura's going to get 10 home runs and about 12 or 13 stolen bases. And he's going to play second base and third base, so he's going to be eligible in 2 spots. He's a solid. To me, I always liked him. He's a solid guy. But I'm with you. Flaherty's looked really rough during the preseason. The other guys that have looked rough, man, I don't know if you watch any of Miami's spring training, but Jorge Soler hasn't looked good, and neither has Avisail Garcia. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was reading about. I seen a lot of people had him pegged at like 20 homers, and I think he's hitting one in the preseason. He's batting like what 110. He's having you're right. Avisail Garcia is having a horrible spring training.
I think they have a lot of young talent down there, and I think those guys comes up and takes over sooner rather than later for them.
Man, they have a lot of pitching talent. I don't know
they
how
definitely have
much
that
talent they got on the offensive side of the ball, because I think they're the worst offensive team in the NL. I mean, we'll see. I think they're a lot worse than the Reds. So we'll see who y'all think is the worst. Maybe the Washington Nationals, but I think it's I think it's the Marlins. I think they have great pitching and no hitting. I mean, their best hitter, I think their second best hitter is Segura. So that tells you all you got to know right there.
Oh God.
Yeah, they wasn't too fond of that trade they made either. Getting Arraez, I wasn't a big Arraez fan. I thought, oh God, I can't remember his name, but the pitcher they gave up,
Pablo Lopez, I'm with you.
Pablo Lopez to me is a hell of a lot better of a player than Arraez. That was a one-sided trade.
Okay, we're going into round 8, and I can't say anything bad about Reyes because I love that guy. I was in a couple of mixed leagues last year, and I just remember I was on the fence about drafting him in several different leagues, and I was kicking myself every damn time I had the opportunity to draft him, and I didn't take him because he ended up winning the AL batting title.
But that's all he can do.
Yes, you're not entirely wrong there.
He's single-digit homers, single-digit stolen bases.
That's right.
He's in a shitty lineup, so he's not going to get any runs.
That's right.
Not going to have any RBIs.
Yeah.
I think he could. You know what? I think his power is a little underestimated. I think he could probably hit 15 this year.
Oh, come on. I've got 20.
Hey man, Alec Bohm will steal 20 before this guy hits 15.
Oh shit! I think that's a bet right there.
Which bet?
He's never hit double-digit homers ever. Not even in the minors.
I got 20.
He hit 3 in a minor league in a spring training game, like just the other day. Yeah, the most he's hit he's projected at 14.
No way. No way.
That's what CBS. Well, Grant, CBS's stats is about as reliable as my old car out there.
No way that guy hits 14 home runs.
I think Brendan Donovan might hit 14 home runs, but I don't think your guy Rise is going to hit any.
Yeah, Lane Thomas might.
Yeah, Lane Thomas might hit 14 home runs, but Rise is going to hit like maybe 5.
No, I got 15.
No way. He's single digits.
I got 15.
He's single digits for sure.
There's no way Bohm
Wait,
gets
no.
freaking 20. So, okay, like whoever will do a friendly bet. Like if Bohm hits 20 home runs first versus Arraez, it gets 15 homers.
Oh, that's
20,
not.
20
That's not.
stolen bases versus 15 homers.
I mean, you're gonna buy the beer next time I see you, so we're going Bohm all the way. Justin, you doubling down?
Yeah, because this guy is not hitting double-digit homers. There's no way.
You're a little loony, man. You've
I'm
been
telling you, man.
At least Bohm has a shot with the bigger bases.
Yeah.
They didn't move the infield walls in. This guy ain't hitting 10.
We just said he was going to hit 20 home runs. We didn't say he was going to steal 20 bases.
We're going 15 or 20 stolen bases. Justin said he was going 20 stolen bases. I got it on tape. I got it recorded.
No, but then I said I take that back.
Justin
I got it
took
recorded.
that back. Justin took that back.
All right, we'll talk about that later, and we'll figure that out. But as far as other picks, I was talking to Rich before the call here, and Gurriel for Arizona. I love that pick. I don't know why I didn't take him personally. Like he was the highest on CBS at the time. He was the highest on like many other sites at the time. And I was looking at him, and I got scared from last year's numbers, which I I don't know why I didn't take him, and I was kicking myself. I think that's probably the best pick of the draft. The best pick of round 8 for sure. Maybe the best pick of maybe the latter half of the draft. But I will have to say this, David Robertson. I thought that when I skipped off on Evan Phillips, I'm like, well, if I missed Evan Phillips, I can get David Robertson, and I'd be damned if Kevin didn't snipe him from me right before I picked. So at that point, I'm like, well, I'm not going closer there. So I like Robertson and both Gurriel. How about you guys? I take it Arise is not it.
Arise is not it. I like
Yeah.
all the kind of closers right there. I think Donovan might be a sneaky pick if his power comes through for real.
Oh yeah, that's who they had projected as the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals.
Okay, I can see him
Donovan
take a step up this year. I like my pick Gurriel. I like probably David Robinson or Sir Anthony Dominguez. I like the closers. And I love that. My only thing is, Justin, you're going to sit there. You took him in the 8th round. You're going to have to wait a month before he comes up.
I know.
And man, that's tough to do.
I know.
I almost took him, and I was looking at him, and I kind of thought that Nelson was probably going to start the year as the 5th closer, and that's kind of why I didn't take him. So it was a gamble. It didn't pay off. At least it didn't pay off initially. So
I think I agree with you. Rich's pick is good. Robertson is a great value there. But I like the Dominguez pick. I think he's going to lead Phillies in saves this year.
yeah, I'm not sure why he wasn't rated higher. Like I say, yeah, it was a pretty good pick.
I like Lane Thomas too. I think that's a good pick.
All right, any picks you don't like?
I think my Brandon Fatt pick was a reach, but I don't regret it because.
Could
I guess we all decide
of the round when it's all said and done. But you just got to wait a month.
Yeah. So other than Ariza, like any other bad picks of the round? All right. That's good. All right, round 9.
Nope, just you.
Yep. That's okay. Hayden with Wineski did get the 5th spot for the Cubs, so that's definitely helps. I think Contreras is. Yeah, both of these are sneaky good picks with Contreras right before him. Not a Stott fan at all. Sorry, Justin.
No, I know that the shortstop pool was getting low, and at that point, if I remember correctly, a few other people still needed a shortstop, and on my board, he was, by far the best one left, and it was a pretty big drop off after him. Not saying he's great, 'cause he's not. So
I like
the way,
Stott. He played good the last part of the year. Double digit home runs, double digit steals. I mean, you're picking late. That's round 14 in the NL only draft. I like him a whole lot better than I like my pick. I picked the guy that's on the injured on
Recheck.
the injured reserve. But I really like Hayden Wisniewski. I think that was the best pick.
I'm not a big fan of Ross Stripling here. I probably should have waited on him. I was really thinking about taking Ashcraft here, and I've been. This was about the time I was thinking Ashcraft, and I didn't do it. I'm like, well, he can wait, and didn't do it. So I'm not a. Stripling's probably a solid pick, an okay pick, but I don't. I'm just not a big
what
Stripling
about
fan.
what about DR now? How the hell you say his name? Is he even going to play? Sean Murphy's going to be starting, right?
Yeah, he's going to play at least 50% of the time. So
Is he? Okay.
solid play. Yeah. They're gonna give him some DH time. So I think Murphy's gonna play like 60. It's gonna be like 60-40 behind the
Gotcha.
plate. And then they're gonna give Arnaud some time as DH to make up for it. So I think he'll be at least 50% catcher or more. So I really think I think that was a good pick. Darn that late.
All right, how about round 10?
Man, I think it's easy to say now, but I would have thought Taiwan Walker was a good pick before the other day. The other guy that I really like somebody taking a chance on Spencer Steer. I thought that was a good late pick. I think right now, starting in round 10, is when you got to start taking chances. So I did a study. I know you like to do studies, Justin, but I did a study after round 10, starting in round 11 or 15 in an NL only draft. The odds of that player staying on your roster for a significant part of the year is about 15 to 17%.
Damn.
It's low.
That's way lower than what I would have guessed.
If you're picking after in our draft starting in round 11, if you get one guy that stays all year on your team, that's good. If you get two, you're better than average.
Wow. I know personally I usually try to get as many picks before around 105 as I can. For whatever reason, in my opinion, around 101 to 105,
there's a big drop.
Talent drops off the cliff. So I really try to get as many picks before then as I can. If I'm trading picks, I usually try to trade after. I usually try to trade 12, 13, 14. And as you'll see, I don't have an 11, 12, or 13 here in this year either. So I do like the CJ Abrams picks. Like, he's a high rated prospect. I don't think he's doing much in the spring, but somebody with that pedigree, like Justin, if you were looking at shortstop, I think you should have probably targeted Abrams myself.
Nah.
He's an all speed guy. I was taking a shot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He could play out and he could bust. So he hadn't
Well,
had a great spring.
it's not like you're drafting him round 2 or 3. Like round 10, it's a solid freaking. It's a solid pick. Ozuna, I thought was very solid here. I'm not even sure how he lasted that long.
That's what I was gonna say. I really like the Ozuna pick. I mean, he's got a good chance to rebound, have a get back to his normal self. Which if he does, that's a hell of a value there in round 10.
He hits 25 home runs, and War and Peace has a great value pick.
Right.
Probably the best value in the round if you look at it. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'm so glad that Schuster made the rotation. I was going to sweat that one.
I actually, that could be a solid pick too. I think both your picks in round 10 were solid. I like Schuster and Steer. Justin, why don't you like Steer? I can hear it in your voice.
No, I didn't say I didn't like Steer.
He doesn't like the team it's on. I get that.
Okay.
No, I don't have a problem with taking a chance on Steer there. I don't think we've seen enough of him to know how he's gonna. I'm just shocked that I don't know. I'm shocked that he got the spot over some other people, but
Who
Yeah.
do you think might have deserved the spot over him?
Encarnacion, who freaking
Oh
killed
yeah.
it, who killed it in spring, killed it through the minors, killed it in spring training.
I,
But he hasn't even played in AAA yet, so I get why. But
well, he's hurt right now, so
yeah,
I
um,
did just go ahead. I just heard a kind of a spring training overview about Steer tonight, and basically what they were saying is Steer struggled with defense early on, but about midway through this spring training, he kind of found his way defensively and got, I guess, more comfortable there. And then that's when his bat started taking off. So there's at least a little hope that it will be a good transition for him to third base. I got
I
my fingers crossed.
I haven't seen it, but I read that they've been playing Senzel at third too. Is that true?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
That
I read that the other day. That's his original position is third.
yeah, that's true.
I think they're going to give Spencer Steer like 40 games to figure it out. And if he can't do it after 40 games, then they'll move on to somebody else.
Senzel's starting the year off on the IL, isn't he?
Yeah, of course.
And I
What
like
else
it.
would you expect?
I like Encarnacion Strand or whatever his name is, but I don't think they see him as a third baseman. I think they see him as first baseman. I think they see him as next year's Votto's replacement.
Yeah, that very well could be.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys they got to figure out what to do with. I know they've been playing. I know they've been playing McLean at first too in the minors. At least that's what I've read.
Where is he going to play at AAA? Because is he going to play shortstop? McLean's
Who?
their best defensive player. McLean at AAA. Who's going to
Yeah.
be the shortstop at AAA? Ella De La Cruz is going to be in AA. So I think
Yeah,
Encarnacion is going to be first base. So he's going to be third base and shortstop. I think he's going to be McLean at shortstop.
Yeah, I do think he's the best defensive shortstop they have.
And I think Noelvi, they're going to move him to third base, but he's going to be at AA. So
see, I've read that they're going to move him to the outfield.
that could be. I could see that.
They have so many options right now to try to move these guys around and figure something out. Who knows what's going to end up?
Well, they got a lot of right side of the infield type players, so it wouldn't hurt for them to move Noelvi to the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially if they believe Ella De La Cruz is going to be the future shortstop. Then again, some people say he's going to be the future third baseman, so we'll see.
All right, one last thing about round 10, like to piggyback what you said initially. I thought Taiwan Walker was a really good, solid pick here.
Me
I'm
too.
really concerned with his last outing. Yeah, that's if I had him, I would be really, really worried. I have him in my dynasty league, and I'm not sure what I'm going to get from him this year, but hopefully it turns out he's not injured or anything.
Who are you talking about?
Taiwan Walker.
Oh,
Yeah, I have him on some teams, and it worries me. So I'm with you. I thought this was the best pick before yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, like it might be the worst pick. So we'll find out.
All right, round 11. Who you guys like?
Man, none of these guys are any good. The one
Yeah.
guy that I think is really's got a shot to be good is Lars Newbar. Newbar, I think Hattiesburg Heroes. He took a shot. He might suck, but he's got a chance. He's got upside. So I think it was a good pick. The most solid.
As of right now, Carlson's the odd man out. Newbar is going to be starting every day.
Yeah,
Really?
I thought Carlson would go down to the minor leagues. I even told Aaron that, but yeah, I think Newbar's going to start over Carlson. I think your pick, Charlie Blackman, was a good solid pick right here because he's going to be up and he's going to play every day. I think the pick with higher upside was Newbar, but I like your pick with Charlie Blackman second.
I know Brian De La Cruz. I've never been a big fan, but he seemed like he was on every single breakout candidate list that I read this offseason.
Me too.
I think he gets
I don't know
sent down.
why. I know it's because he finished the year strong last year, but I've never been a big fan. But
It's almost like Miami doesn't like him because all I've heard this entire offseason is that he was going to be a backup. He was going to share time. He was going to be in the minor leagues. I don't know why they didn't just give him a full-time job after last year.
right especially after the end of last year.
Yeah, because last year he was hot at the end of the year. He played good. So I'm 100% with you, but all the talk out of the Marlins is negative on Brian De La Cruz. I don't know why, but it doesn't seem like the team likes him. But I definitely could see that's a pick with upside too.
You know, I think Adam Wainwright was probably a safe pick here. Mackenzie Gore, he had a horrible spring, and I don't think he finished the year very good last year. And I definitely down on him this year, but he does have a huge pedigree. There's a chance he could figure it out. If you're not competing this year, then it's a good flyer you could take. And I don't know whether you can start him early, if you can leave him on your bench for about a month, and hopefully he figures it out. Gore might be a really good pick. I think. Go ahead.
But like you said, this is the round where you got to start taking chances. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like Gore there better than I do. I would have taken him over Wainwright in that spot. When Wainwright went right behind him.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Wainwright's more of a safe pick. You know what you're getting.
If you believe in Gore,
he's hurt. He's hurt right now too.
And Wainwright's spring training was terrible. So if you just followed anything on him with spring training, his velocity was down like 2 or 3 miles per hour. He didn't look right. So, but if you look at these 11 players or these 10 players, I'm already adding one. If you look at these 10 players in 4 weeks, I guarantee 8 of them will be on different teams.
Yeah.
7 or 8 of them will already be on different teams in 4 weeks.
Probably, especially with Carlson if he goes down. I don't think that was a bad gamble there at 110 whatever it was for Carlson, but I was kind of out on him the entire year because if he hasn't made it by now, I don't know whether he's going to, but I don't know, maybe he will.
He's kind of in the same boat as Senzel. Like I think this is his last shot.
How about round 12?
I like Carlson a lot better than Senzel, but I mean, here's my thing. At this point, I think Carlson might get a chance to come back up and start later in the year. But how long are you going to sit him on the bench? I want to pick up other players, so I'm going to probably drop him if I put him on a bench after 2 or 3 weeks because another player's going to come up.
Yeah, as far as round 12, I think everybody knows what my favorite pick here is.
Graham Ashcraft. Is that the guy?
Bastard.
I think he might be the best pick out on this round. What do you think, Justin? You got any?
I thought you were an Ashcraft fan, Rich.
I'm not, but his last outing, I think he went 7 innings and struck out 10. So I am this week.
I think there's more solid picks in this round than there was in the 11th round. Personally,
yeah. I agree. Friedel's a decent pick. Alex Wood's a good pick.
Yeah, I like Waka. So
Ottavino, like it's Holmes,
Gorman's
Ottavino,
hot
Gorman.
shot. I agree. There were more solid picks in this round than there were in the previous round.
Alex Wood is a solid pick.
Yeah, I definitely think so too.
And it looks like it looks like Mitch Keller's finally figured it out. He's having a great spring,
Yeah,
and
he's a great guy to take a shot on.
added. Rich, you're a speed. You like the fast fastballs guys. He's added 4 or 5 miles an hour to his fastball this year, so he's like sitting at 96 now.
I've been burned on him before, but I agree with you. It's worth taking a shot 12th round.
So with Keller, here's a story with Keller for last year. I can't remember who drafted him. It was either Mike or Max, I believe, who drafted Keller last year, and he had a phenomenal spring. And I would really wanted him, and like they drafted him before me, and I was trying to trade him. I was trying to trade for him and trade for him and trade. Didn't work out. Didn't work out, and I I I think I ended up picking him up off waivers after he was dropped, and he still was garbage. And after that, I have no use for Keller. He might be a great pitcher this year, but I'll wait and see.
You're not taking the gamble on him.
Who is your favorite pick in the round? I'm gonna go Wood. I think Alex Wood is my favorite pick. I'll probably go Ashcraft second. I think upside's there.
Wood's probably the safest solid pick, and Ashcraft's probably the highest upside, in my opinion. I do like Gorman. That's a sneaky good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he's got late power. I don't know if he's gonna. It's weird to say how much they're gonna play him this year, with St. Louis because I hear he's gonna be a part-time player. So we'll see. He's got 30 home run potential. And he could get traded out of St. Louis.
Taylor Rogers is a pretty good pick. He should get a good number of holds this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him and Ottavino. I like
Ottavino's good. Good pick.
All right, let's go to round 13. Man, that's Derek Hall. Man, you lucked into that one.
So I got a funny story, Rich. So I had Derek Hall last year, so I've been kind of watching him, because I know he's got a lot of power. And at one point, like 2 weeks ago, he was leading spring training in home runs. He had 5. A few guys had 4. Everybody else had 3 or less. So I'm like, man, I'm drafting this guy. I want him back on my team. And then Aaron sends that text to me, and you were the next pick you were on the clock, and then it was me.
It must have been.
And I was taking Hall with my next pick, and Aaron texts us out of blue. Hey guys, guess who's leading minor leagues in home run right now? I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're gonna blow my pick. You're gonna get Rich to freaking Google it, and he's gonna see Derek Hall. He's gonna take him.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I was giving Aaron shit. He's like, what are you talking about? It's Matt Olson. And I looked, and Olson had 6. He had passed him up. Olson had 6, Hall had 5.
He's tried to get me to trade for Matt Olson all year. So yeah,
I don't know about. I've been keeping him.
You have been.
Yeah, I kept both my first round picks last year. That's crazy.
But with Harper being out, they already said that Hall was going to be serving the DH spot. But now with Reese being out, I hope he's gonna play at first base. So you're right. It was kind of luck. I had my eye on him though. I mean that's one of the guys I was targeting in the late rounds that I wanted on my team. But
that might end up being the best pick in the draft. Who knows? I think Gatterall is probably a solid pick.
I like
Vogelbach is probably pretty good too.
I don't know. I like Hall better than Vogelbach.
Yeah, Derek Hall hitting 30 home runs this year is not out of the question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Derek Hall might be the best pick of the draft, considering the round and the potential and everything. Could be.
He can hit 220 or 230, but that's gonna be his boogaboo. Does he strike out too much?
I think Bailey Falter for the Phillies is probably a sneaky good pick too.
That's a good gamble pick.
I agree with you. Everything you said, Aaron, you're right on.
All right. I
I
don't
think if
want
you
to spend
take a shot, I mean, and you had the spot. I think Joshua Gray, he started out last year. If you took his stats at the All Star break, and then you took them at the end of the year, at the first half of the year, his stats was over a K per inning. His ERA was like 3.7 or something reasonable. I know you got to remember him from when he was with the Reds. Joshua Gray, I mean, he had a K per inning. I know he sucked, and I wouldn't want to start him. But if you just taking a shot, he could be
yeah.
good.
Well, the problem with him is,
Home runs.
well, no, coming up through the minors, it was always like, oh, he's got a great fastball. When he develops a good second pitch, he's going to be good. Well, he never developed that second pitch, and now people are rocking his fastball, so it's not looking good for him. I will say that.
It's a good for the 13th round. You could do worse.
For the 13th round, yeah. I mean, he's going to get you strikeouts, but
Well, I'm just saying, if he gets hot, you know, you never know. There's going to be somebody that breaks out that we don't know who it is, and they're going to be better than we thought they were.
mm-hmm.
All right. How about round 14? We don't have to spend a lot of time on these, but
I like Profar. I thought that was a good pick. I really thought that was a great pick. I really like Warren Peace with Tony Disco. I think he's going to end up starting at some point in the year. I think he'll get 20, 25 starts. So I really like those two picks. What about y'all?
who was your other one?
Tony Disco and Jurickson Profar, Justin's pick.
Yeah, I was really hoping Profar. I had it all lined up like Profar will be my next pick, and I got sniped again. Yeah, it happened.
Uh, yeah, I like it. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of Kyle Finnegan, but I mean that's a pretty good deal to get a closer.
Yeah,
that far down.
I'm with you. I would have put that third. So yeah, Finnegan was a good pick. I really don't think Drew Smiley was that bad a pick if you're just looking for a spot starter in the 14th round.
Right.
Especially if you look at his matchups early in the season, he's got Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Drew Smiley might end up being a good pick.
Trace Thompson, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I know he came up out of nowhere last year, but like a career resurrection, but I don't think it's going to be very long before he doesn't have a starting job anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I took Boxberger because one, like nobody had drafted a Cubs closer, and there should be a good team. We don't really know who the closer is going to be, but I do know that Boxberger had the second most holds in Major League Baseball over the last 2 years. So
really?
I thought that was a. I at that point I didn't have any relief pitchers, and I really needed some relief pitchers. Waiting to the 14th round might not have been the best decision for me, but we'll find out.
I'm with you. I don't think he was a bad pick. He might end up staying on your roster all year and be your one. If he gets 25 holes, he gives you value.
I think he's the closer this year, personally.
You don't think Mike Fulmer will be the closer? It's going to be.
I think he's hurt, isn't he?
Fulmer? I don't know if
Yeah.
Fulmer's hurt. I didn't think so, but maybe he is. I'll have to check it out.
I don't think they know, honestly.
Yeah, the Cubs are like, who the hell knows what the Cubs are going to do?
But I think he's good. Being better this year, I think there's possibilities. All right, let's. We don't have to spend too long on these later rounds, but 15. Anything sticks out to you?
I like the first three picks.
Yeah, the Montero pick is
Yeah.
that could be a huge payoff for you.
It could be. We'll see. But
I think Daniel Hudson ends up closing for the Dodgers. I think that's a great pick.
Man, if it just depends on when he comes back.
Yeah.
And it goes back to it's hard to hold people, when you got a shallow a shallow bullpen or whatever you want to call it, bench, it's hard to hold people on the IL because they're passing up players. There's going to be players popping up all the time. But I agree, he could end up closing. So.
Well, if you could put him on your IL spot, it's probably okay.
Yeah.
But if you're right, but I thought Moustakis might sneak in and get the third base job, but it looks like Matera is going to be the guy.
They're playing Moose at second.
At second, what the?
He's going to be their starting second baseman. Yep.
Where's McMahon playing?
First.
What about CJ Cron? You gonna put him at DH?
Yep.
Wow. Did not hear that. Interesting.
That's the last I read.
I thought Yepes was fine pick.
Oh wait, no.
But... Are you sure about that?
Moose is playing second, I know for sure. Ryan McMahon's playing third. They might be having Montero DH. Because a lot of people thought when they signed Moose, they were going to bump McMahon to second. And I read just recently that no, they're keeping Moose at second where the Reds had him, and they're keeping McMahon at third.
I don't see Moustakis playing. We'll see.
He's having a really good spring training, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I thought Yepes was a pretty solid pick here, but he's down in the minors, so he could come back though. But 15th round, it is what it is.
The only pick I don't like here is Marte. I mean, I don't think there's a chance in hell he plays this year for the Reds.
I don't either. That was the one pick. I mean, it's a what the hell pick anyway, but I'm with you. I think there's no way.
If he does, it's not going to be till after the All-Star break. So
yeah,
September call up.
Jason needs to find a way to get him in the minor league draft. I don't think his minor league pick is that far down, but
yeah. I told him he could trade me. I got the second pick, so
already dealing with him. All right, let's move to 16th. What do you think here?
All terrible picks. I think probably the best pick might have been Magoo for Arizona. I like my Bush pick. I don't. Nobody's really. I don't know Sanchez, which I think he sucks as a player, but I don't think it's a bad.
Yeah.
Throw him out there and see what happens first week. It's kind of like James Outman. Maybe he'll bust through.
I thought Wendell was okay. I was still surprised that Magoo was still there because he's supposed to be the Arizona closer. Hell, 16th round closer. Why not? Shit.
And I guess Wendell's a little better, but I'm kind of like Justin. If a guy can't hit 10 home runs or still 10 stolen bases, I'm not sure I want him. And he sold 12 last year, so maybe he gives you a little bit.
He's
definitely got a lot of position of eligibility, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think I like the Wendell pick there. He's for that reason. He's eligible at several spots.
Second base, third base, and shortstop. So he gives you some versatility. He's gonna play every day. They don't have anybody better.
That's true. We've already established that. How about 17? Luis Garcia. I don't think that's a bad pick either. I think he's developing into a solid player. I think he's probably still maybe another year or so away from being maybe a single-digit round pick, but I do like Garcia.
I think it's a good shot. He's young. Yeah, like you said, he's 22, 23. Why not?
Yeah.
He's got a good batting average. If he can develop a little bit of power, he plays second base and shortstop. Who knows? I think it's a good risk-reward pick.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
All right. Round 17 has a bunch of risk in that one.
Yeah.
I love the AJ Puck pick. In fact, when you picked him, Rich, I texted Aaron and said, "Damn it, Rich took my guy," because that's who I was targeting for that round. I think he ends up as the Arizona's closer. I like Braxton Garrett, and then I love the Matt Mervis pick, especially with Kim gave up so much last year. I don't think he's going to compete this year, so he can hold on to him till he comes up, and he's going to be good.
Yeah, if they give him a shot, I don't know why they signed Hosmer, when they had Mervis there. So I hope they give him a shot pretty early on. I think he deserves it. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. AJ Puck he's young. He strikes out a lot of people. He could be a good pick. We'll see. I don't know if he's like a keeper, but he could be a good value pick. We'll see.
No, I think he's their closer. I think he ends up being their closer at some point.
That would be good. I have him in my dynasty league,
Yes.
so be happy there. I like Outman for myself there. Like he's made the team. That was kind of a risk there, but I don't know.
I missed him. Yeah, that is a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, what was the Robert was saying that he's gonna start the majority games. He's gonna be in a platoon, I think, with Chris Taylor.
Yeah, he's gonna be the left-handed platoon person, which is better than
he's platooning with Trace Thompson, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's gonna get the bulk of the starts. So he could be a nice late round pick. You never know.
Yeah, I'm with you that Puck's pretty good. Senzel, what the hell? It's 17. All right, let's go to the last round. Anything sticks out to you? I'll say this, Moreno. I really like Moreno as a catcher. And I was able to get him with the very last pick. I figured he would drop since everybody had a catcher at this point. Some people had two. So I don't know. Like he's a young catcher.
I agree with you. For the last pick in the draft, I think he's great. I think, yeah.
I love the Kyle Lewis pick here.
Yeah, Kyle Lewis is pretty strong here.
Taking a gamble. This is a guy that he's not going to start right away, but if he lives up to his potential, then
I think he gets some DH chances.
That's going to be a steal.
I kind of like Mike Soroka. I got to go with my hometown team. So I like the Atlanta guy coming back. So he was hitting 93, 94 in the minor leagues the other day.
He's out for a few more months though, isn't he?
No, he's out for a couple of weeks. They're saying May 1st. But
it's May now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hold him that long, but he's worth a shot. Anybody love Joey Votto? No love for Votto?
No, not anymore. Not.
I really want to say something about Gabriel Moreno because I'm with you. This guy that hit 319 last year. So as the last pick in the draft, you're taking a catcher. If he could even get a little bit of average power, just hit 8 to 10 home runs, that's a home run pick right there. I mean, that's a great pick.
I heard a lot of other people talking about Moreno as a sleeper pick in mixed leagues like last week. And I'm like, shit, I got him in the last pick.
I would have taken him, yeah. I would have taken him had I not already had Contreras.
Yeah.
I thought I like him, so I'm with you.
I'll stand corrected with Michael Fulmer though, like it looks like he's healthy, so I stand corrected. Even if Boxberger is not the closer, I'll take his holds.
Yeah, I think they're going to split the job, and then till one of them loses it. So, Boxberger's probably he's got better track record. So,
Geez. Well, Rich, I think again you have the best team, which sucks for the rest of us because we all know how good you are at season management. So it's disheartening for the rest of us. But I don't know. I'd have to look at the rosters. Let me look at the rosters.
look at Michael's team. It's not a bad team if you look at War and Peace. Other than he needs maybe pitching. You can always trade for pitching.
Yeah, War and Peace is good. I think Aaron has a good team.
I do too. I think Aaron has a good
He
team.
had a great keepers too.
Yeah, he really did have great keepers. I like Aaron's team. I think his hard thing is Soto gonna miss any time, and then how much is Tatis gonna hurt him by missing those first 20 games?
Yeah, let me see. The Fighting Homers, they might be a little light on home runs, I think. Like me, I'm gonna be light on home runs. Probably
Yeah,
gonna
I
be light
think
on.
you're one hitter away. I really like your pitching though. I think you're just probably missing one home run bat. Now it could be Joey M. Maybe he's that home run bat.
I think Chris Bryant's gonna hit more home runs than people were projecting.
I think if he gets back up to 30, you got Alonso hitting 40. Will Smith has a career year at 30. It gets you closer to where you need to be. I really thought Suzuki was going to break through this year, but he's been hurt all spring.
Got hurt too, yeah. Kevin had a bad luck. He like we said, two guys drafted in the first 6 rounds aren't even going to be playing. That's going to be hard to overcome.
That does really, really suck.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
I'm looking at the Hawks now.
Here you go. I got the grid pulled up.
Oh, do you?
If you can see that.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen here. I have to move it to my bigger monitor.
You know, if Jason wasn't such a homer, his team might be better.
Who, Jason?
Yeah, it seems not that bad. Throw out Jose Barrio. He's got him starting. Okay, I'm sorry. He's got Nick Senzel on his team. He's got Noelvi Marte on his team. Get rid of those three guys, and
he wins the Reds Homer Award.
he's got
no. Max is the Reds homer award. I don't know how he become a Reds homer, but Max is the Reds homer.
But Max has the good Reds player.
Yeah.
Jason just takes Reds players. So I mean, but I like Warren Peace's team has a chance to compete all year. Aaron, I think your team is going to be right there. I think the draft's only 50% of the way. Justin, I think you're in it if you want to be in it. I think you might need a hitter, but I like your pitching. And then you got to think average Joe's Kim's going to figure out something. Though I do think I would say that Kim's team is a little bit behind just based on not having those draft picks. And then, what do you think of Michael's team? I just
go ahead.
No,
you go ahead.
The only weaknesses I see really is Avisail Garcia from Miami. I know why he took him because he's got that power potential, but I don't see it coming back. And then Daniel Vogelbach for the Mets, I don't see him. I just don't see him.
I don't like it. I don't like his pitching.
Who? Neiman's.
Michael.
Oh no! I was talking about the other Mike. Oh, you were talking about War and Peace. I thought you were talking about the other one.
I was talking about Michael Davis. So.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about. I don't like his pitching.
You
I
know,
don't think.
Max's team might be underrated if you look at it.
It's so hard to tell at this point.
It really is. I mean, there's going to be free agent pickups that make a big difference. There's going to be people that get hurt, and then there's going to be trades. So it's
That's funny. You said you like my pitching because I like my hitting better than I like my pitching.
really, I like your
Yeah.
pitching better. I like your pitching better. I'll be honest. Yeah, a lot of these guys are on my list. I could have easily drafted these guys.
I think it's going to be hard for Kim and Mike Davis to compete this year, given their keepers, and they kind of went all in last year.
Yeah,
It's really going to hurt Kim, especially. So I think because of that, this is just going to be a rebuilding year for him.
it's hard to compete when
I think Mike Neiman has a really good chance this year. I think he had a pretty good draft, and
Yeah, I agree with you. He has a good team.
I think he potentially has the most home runs in the league right now.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I thought he had a really good team when I was
Well,
looking.
he's got Betts, he's got Adamas, however how you say it. He's got Muncy. So yeah, he's got some good home run guys there. Will Myers could easily hit more than 20 home runs.
Yeah. Well, I guess one thing about you, Rich, I think your team is probably the best overall. Unfortunately. But I guess the one biggest question mark for your team is Jordan Walker. He started off on fire, but like he didn't have a very good rest of the spring. I think he went hitless in the last 5 spring training games.
Yeah, I'm not dependent on Walker.
You don't need to, but yeah,
It would be nice, but yeah, I really felt like he should have gone to the minor leagues. I think he was like 2 for 27 his last 7 or 8 games, but they're going to give him the starting job, so we'll see. I think a lot of mine depends on health. Depends on if somebody gets hurt. If I have one player in my outfield get hurt, I could be in trouble.
who's your first baseman?
Right now I'm starting Montero.
Oh, wow.
And when
Freddie Freeman trade late.
Yeah, when Gritchett comes back, I'm gonna put Trey Mancini at first base. So like I said, I'm a little bit short. C.J. Abrams doesn't pan out. I get 1 or 2 players hurt. I might not be as good as I think I can be.
I think Strider's the guy you can't afford to lose.
Could be, yeah.
I think if he goes down, your pitching takes just a massive hit.
My pitching goes from right up toward the top to suspect. I
The
could
lower bottom, honestly. I mean,
yeah, I could see that. I like my pitching though.
you got Sang and Freed. I forgot you got picked up Freed. I just now saw that. Yeah. So yeah, you'd probably be all right.
I'm with you. If I lost Strider, that would be huge. So I don't think anybody's a clear cut winner. I like my team, but I think there's a lot of teams that can. I think there's 5, 6, 7 teams that can compete this year. I think it's just depends on what happens from here on out.
I think
it seems like as we go on though, our league does get more competitive. Like there's more people competing every year.
I think Neiman and Will compete this year. I think they're they'll both will be in it. Neiman's got, I think him and right now, I think Neiman and I have like two of the best offenses. Grant Rich, you're right there, I think, as well. As
Guys,
far
I
as
gotta hop off.
offense,
I gotta hop off, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
okay.
See you later, man.
Talk to you guys later.
See
All
ya.
right. See you, Justin.
I think offensive or pitching. I think Rich, you have a big advantage over me, and I think Will has a big advantage in pitching as well. Um, Probably the homers have a pretty good pitching staff as well.
Yeah, I agree with what Justin says. The league's a lot more competitive than it used to be. I think the biggest thing that hurts some teams, and you said it, is I think like Michael last year, I think could have won the league had he traded earlier and not waited too long. I think a mistake probably is waiting to trade when there's like 10 weeks left in the year. It's hard to make changes at that point that's going to affect your team.
Yeah,
It's to me, I always like trade early, but I think you probably need to be looking July 1st, through July 15th is probably the prime trading time. And if you're waiting late, like middle of second week in August or first week in August, you're kind of, if you're behind, it's hard to catch up at that point.
yeah. I know he ended up trading me Harper last year, which I don't think it really hurt him last year because Harper did end up going on the DL for a time being. Um, Granted, in hindsight, it probably didn't hurt him much at all, but I just know that that was kind of the pivotal moment. I think at that point he thought he could get by without trading anything else, or at least anything else for a while, and it didn't pan out. I think injuries and various bad luck happened, and Kim managed to pull ahead. Kim kind of sold everything to win, and it's in our league you pretty much have to. So
I don't know if you have to. I think it helps, but I don't think you have to sell everything. I know I've done that sometimes, but I don't think you have to sell everything. Um,
you have a pretty good eye as far as, do you need to make that another do you need to make that extra trade, and you seem to have a pretty good feel for, yeah, I need to make one more deal, or no, I can probably win with the team I got. I'm not sure how you managed to spot that, but you do.
I will tell you one thing I do, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but starting at probably about week 10, I start tracking the standings every week, and I
Yeah,
track progress in the standings in every category. So, like if I'm 35 behind in runs to get 3 points, I'm tracking that every week starting in week 10 to know if I'm moving up or moving backwards. So I think that helps me kind of know if my team is progressing in the right way. Like if I'm 35 this week and I'm at 25 next week, then I know I don't really have to do anything. Then I'm going to catch you.
yeah,
But it kind of helps me break down each category and know how I stand. Or if I'm losing ground in steals, I know I'm going to have to make a move there. So I really don't think you can do it earlier than that. But starting about week 10, it seems to help um, me know where my team stands on each of the categories going forward.
yeah. I usually every week I usually do try to look at what I do a week by week basis. So like, am I gaining point? Did I lead the week in stolen bases or home runs, or in this or that, whatever category I'm trying to catch up in? And I do kind of the same thing. You probably do it much better than me, but I do look at that on a week to week basis, and a lot of times if I'm behind in a category and trying to catch, like normally I'm still behind on a week to week basis. So, but it's a good way to at least predict and like monitor how you're doing and if you need to move
Yeah,
people in and or make trades or whatnot.
I think it helps me make trades too because, early in the season, I'm so tied to all these players. I feel invested in them.
Yeah.
Then once I start breaking it down to, I need to gain more run, RBIs, or I need to gain more runs, then I seem to do a little better when it comes to my trades at that point. But
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening, and hopefully this is informative. Like it's our opinions. We're not experts. At least I'm not. Rich is. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll try to do this every year. And if somebody really wants to be involved and give their analysis next year, by all means, you're welcome to join. Good luck, everyone.